Welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. This is a channel where I look at Pokemon cards primarily looking at the artwork on Pokemon cards. Today's video is, I have no idea what it is. I'm going to be talking, and if it's boring, please don't continue watching. I'm just rambling for my own sake. We're going to be talking about Destined Rivals and the upcoming black and white sets. My personal thoughts on what's going on. I'll try to be as positive as possible, but there's an awful lot of resentment in me at the moment to the way that Pokemon is treating us, and it takes me back to probably one of the most negative points in my Pokemon collecting timeline, which is when Unseen Forces came out, EX Unseen Forces, and we'd had the in the previous year or two before that, we'd had the addition of EX cards as secret rares at the end of a set with Ruby and Sapphire, and then they'd added gold stars, and they kept ramping up the difficulty of completing a set. And then EX Unseen Forces came along, and they added in a whole subset of hollow unknown cards for all unknowns, which just felt exploitation of completist collectors, and it rankled with me. It didn't sit right. It felt like they were just milking me, and I didn't like that feeling. It was a horrible feeling, and I refused to complete Unseen Forces because of it. Certainly, I mean, in regard to the unknowns, and that just annoyed me because I'm a completist. It's part of what drives me. Anyway, moving on. Let me just get my which file am I looking for? I think we're looking for this file. Yeah, this is this the new one? Yes, this is. Yeah, right. Destined Rivals. Very much hyped set. Combination of Glory of Team Rocket and Heatwave Arena. I think I'm kind of complete with this in English, where I want to be. And I'm not complete. I'm not complete because those days are gone. And that, as I say, it annoys me because it's in my DNA that I want to be completist. I want to have a complete set of something, or it doesn't feel right. It's like having a jigsaw puzzle without all the pieces in. And Pokemon seem to be going out of their way at the moment to making sure I never feel that satisfaction. Or if I were to try and get to that point of satisfaction, that it would break me financially. Well, it won't break me financially, but it's ridiculous. It is exploitation, and it's unnecessary because they are making money hand over fist at the moment. They do not need to keep ramping things up and exploiting us further and further and further and pushing us and pushing us and pushing us, because a bubble, if you keep blowing it up and up and up and up, or a balloon, it will burst. There comes a point where it just cannot cope anymore with the tensions of the physical pressures upon it. So where are we going with Pokemon? We're going to black and white in a bit, but let's just quickly have a review of Destined Rivals, where I am at with it. So what I've done with this set is up to the numbered parts of the set, the non-secret rares, I've completed, I'm waiting on a couple of reverses, but I've completed in reverse foil and regular the main set, as it were. So this is this one. You don't really need to see this. We all know what they look like. If you're on this video anyway, you should probably know what Destined Rivals looks like. So I've got all the reverse foils. It makes for a pleasing binder. Yeah, there's a consistency to what we're looking at here. And when we come to the end, if they're upside down, it's because I'm waiting for the reverse foils to come in. I've took a while to order this card. This is the Greedent, but it is coming. It's the only one of the set that I'm currently missing up to the thingies, whatever. Now, when it comes to other cards, I've got all the cards in, let's just grab this, in Japanese over here, in my Japanese sets. So, which ones did I feel I wanted in English? I think I limited myself. I wasn't going to get all of them. I was just going to get the ones that I needed for collections, etc., of artists that I collect, or species I collect, although I'm not sure there are any species, but artists I collect. And yeah, so I've got limited ARs from Destined Rivals. I don't care for the only one that I would like is obviously the Misty's Psyduck because it's such a beautiful card. But I actually only collect Okacheki in Japanese for my Okacheki collection, so I don't need it per se, but it would be nice to have, but it's just too expensive. Moving on, let's just have a little look in the bookie book. What I haven't got. There's nothing here that I haven't got some of these. I wouldn't mind actually having this, but it's like 10 quid to buy this card. Is that card worth 10 quid to me? No, it's not really. It's only, I'm not sure it is 5 band. Let me just have a look. I don't think it is. I can't see who the artist was on that. I don't have this card. But for £10, I'm not minded to get it. I don't need it as such. I don't like any of these, even though I have some of them. I don't like the full art trainers in this generation. They're very boring. I think back to things like Mars by Kodama in the Sun and Moon era, which is such an inventive, beautiful full art trainer, and we're not getting that quality anymore. I mean, those awful ones that we had in Prismatic Evolutions, was it, with things like Eri and things as schoolgirls and just those were just awful. They were the worst possible full art trainers. But anyway, I'm not interested in any of that. As for the big expensive cards, obviously I've got this one because it's Unanori and I needed that one and it's beautiful. But I kind of like this, but I don't like it very much. Furusawa I just don't like this card, and certainly not at the price that it's going. I don't much like that. I definitely don't like the Egawa. I'm sorry. I'm happy other people like the Egawa artwork. I think it's awful. I have no interest in owning this card. This is incredibly dull to me. It's just tonally, it's just nothing that appeals to my eyes, nor is this. This is quite nice art, but it's not essential. This is the sticking point, this Ethan's Adventure, because I do collect Korea. Let's say I did collect Korea. It's getting to a point with certain artists that Pokemon are pushing me to a point where my collections are breaking. And that's angering me, annoying me. There's a lot of resentment in me about how I'm being treated as a collector. Let's think of some examples. Satama has been commissioned to do this, or was commissioned to do the Chinese exclusive Mew EX, was it? Some crazy card that is like £3,000 if you want to buy it on the secondary market. So that's fucked up my Satama collection. Even though I wasn't collecting Chinese, but it is a distinct artwork. Yes, it's not in one of the two languages that I collect, but it is there, and I can't get that Mew. I can't justify buying a Mew for £3,000. I just can't. So that's the end of my Satama complete collection. That was the end of that. As for this, with the Korea, I was complete in English and Japanese in every print and version of every card that they've done. I've got this in Japanese. I don't actually like it. Now, I could go and buy this in English for £40. I have £40. I could do it. I've got the pressure at the same time that we've just got Black and White coming out now, and there is so much expense there, which is what I'm going to talk about in a moment. There's so much expense in Black and White that my feeling is that I want to just let my Korea collection slide into a state of incompletion, and be missing the English print of Ethan's Adventure. That's going to sit badly with me. It really is. So there's nothing else in Destined Rivals that I'm particularly chasing. If I suddenly found the Misty's Psyduck by Okacheki in English at a price that I felt happy paying, yeah, I'd probably pick it up. But at the moment it's not, so I'm not picking it up. Right, what I wanted to talk about next. Stay with me. Well, you don't have to stay with me. I'm not forcing anyone. I've spoken about this binder before. This is a binder that brings me more pleasure than any other collections in my Pokemon collection at the moment. and it's the most affordable, and it's a relief from the stresses that Pokemon are putting upon me with these ridiculous releases of variants and stuff. So I do keep trying to tell people that there are other options. Find a card you love. If you don't want to be spending lots and lots of money, find a card you love, like this one, Kamanabe's, Cynthia's, what's it called in German? I can't even say that. Barschqua, the Phoebus. And collect it in every variant you can get. So, this came out last week. So I've got the Japanese, Korean, English, German. I'm waiting on the French to arrive. Spanish, Italian, etc. And what you do is you just get every print, and you just create these beautiful binder pages that something like this, that one's not complete, so because we haven't got a Korean one yet. But you can get a lovely page of cards that really appeal to your eye and make you feel you've completed the jigsaw puzzle, as it were. Even though it's an illusion, because I haven't got things like the Indonesian or the Thai ones. Anyway, I'm diverting. So I wanted to talk about this. This is my list. Oh dear. This is my list of all the ARs. Terrible handwriting, I'm afraid. My handwriting is it used to be beautiful, my calligraphy, but since computers came about 25 years ago and I've hardly written anything, my handwriting has turned to shit. Anyway, because I rarely use it. That's my list of... Yeah, let's put it on the screen. This is just a quick list I did the other day of which art rares. These are just the art rares from the Black Bolt White Flare sets that came out yesterday in Japan. I will be opening boxes of this week on the channel. And I've gone and bought myself anything that's got a black line down here. I've gone and bought copies of. In the case of the Excadrill by Arita, I've bought several copies of it. And I've taken notes down of what the current prices are on the very expensive ones that whatever. But these are 50 art rares. At the moment, the average price of these sort of things seems to be around £5 to buy each one. So that's £250 just to get these cards for my collection. And then there's another 100 or so. God, is it really? If I wanted that sense of completion of a whole file of all the art rares from these two sets, it's going to cost me a fortune. I mean, this set is going to cost me a fortune because it's putting so much pressures on my collections and how I feel about my collections. As I say, I'm very much a completist. I don't like having holes in the collection. So my collections are artists and species primarily. I collect a lot of artists. If I've underlined it, it's an artist that I'm collecting. A lot of the artists I collect are Japanese exclusive art sets. I don't tend to have to get the English. There are some artists that go across both. Someone like Arita, obviously, I collect in both languages. So these are just the art rares. But then beyond the art rares, you've got the regular cards, which from a booster box, you get the whole set basically. So that's not a problem. But then you've got the in Japanese, leaving English alone for the moment, in Japanese you've got Pokeball variants, and you get about, 1, 4, 5, I think you get about 15 regular Pokeball reverses in a booster box. So they're going to be a couple of quid each, I think, to complete the set. And if I look at how I did 151 in Japanese or Trastor Festival, where I made sure I got all the reverses, the Pokeball reverses, not the Master Balls, that's a huge outlay just to complete a binder of the regular set, not these things, just the regular set of cards in Pokeball reverse Japanese is going to be a task. But I think it's an attainable task, and that's sort of how I'm viewing the regular set. I'm not going to complete it in Master Ball because they at the moment are going for like £10 each or more for the more desirable ones. And the price will change because it's only just come out. But as more of them come on the market, they will probably come down a little bit. But Master Balls, for the time being, for the foreseeable future, are going to be an expense for each one. You know, a chunk. £10 is not a cheap card. It's, you know, especially when you're buying lots of them. So there are certain species that I collect. So if I've underlined a species, here we go. Okay, I mean, these will not be all of them, but oh no, they will be all of them because they've all got a art rare, of course. So Generation 5 is a difficult generation for me because a lot of the species that I collect are actually from Generation 5, and I think it's because they're just really well designed Pokemon in Generation 5. I didn't like the games very much, but a lot of the species really appealed to me. So Heatmore. I am a Heatmore collector, possibly the only Heatmore collector in the world. But anyway, I like Heatmore, so I'm going to have to get this Korea. Well, I'm going to have to get one for my Korea binder. I'm going to have to get one for my Heatmore binder. But in the regular card, this is the art rare. In the regular card, there'll be a regular one. Can't remember who the artist is on that one. And a Pokeball and a Master Ball. So that's 3 cards there I need to get for my Heatmore collection. A 4th one, and then a 5th one. I have to get the Korea one for my Korea binder. So 2 of that one, and then whatever. I collect Blitzel, so I have to get. I don't collect. Well, I do collect, and it's only their second card. Mianose is just such a great artist. I loved their Meditite that they did before. I thought it was brilliant. It was the only card they had up to now, and now they've done the Blitzel, and the Blitzel is a Pokemon collector. So I may have to get 2 copies of this art rare Blitzel, but then because I collect Blitzel, I'm going to have to get the regular card. That's easy enough. The Pokeball Reverse, that's easy enough. The Master Ball, a bit of an expense, but not going to break the bank. But repeatedly, well, I should express that none of these are breaking the bank because I'm not on the breadline or whatever. But I can't justify spending ridiculous amounts of money. But we'll see. Mienfoo. I collect Mienfoo in English and Japanese in all prints, so I need to get that. Mienshao. I collect that in all prints, in all languages, but I also collect Atsuya Uki in all languages. So, how many? I'm going to have to get 2 copies of this art rare, and then the Master Ball, whatever. I collect Matazo in all languages, so I need to get this Lipard. I collect Scraggy in all languages. I collect Lillipup in all languages. I collect Herdier in all languages. I collect Stoutland in all languages. Kamanabe. I'm going to have to get this in all languages. Takumiwa. Yeah, it just goes on. Arita. There's a couple of Wrens. There's a Zeb Striker. There's Ends Plot. What do I do? They've fucked up my Wren collection now. Because unless I spend, it's currently £166, but unless I spend that much money on Ends Plot, which I don't actually like very much. I like it. I don't like it to the degree of dollars. It was dollars price. I don't like it that much, not nearly. But if I'm going to keep my Rend collection complete, and I collect Rend in both English and Japanese, I've got to get this and get it in English as well. And I think that is the snap. That's the bubble bursting. That is where I say to myself, nope, my collecting of Rend is over. I cannot be completist anymore. They've pushed me beyond my limits. Bye-bye to my Rend collection. It was nice while it lasted. I will get cards that I like, but I'm not going to be completist with Rend anymore because of what Pokemon are doing. I can't do it. There's just too many coals or whatever, the things in the fire. What do you call it? Too many brands in the fire? I don't know the phrase. Anyway, I've got too many things going. I can't do that anymore. So Rend, bye-bye. Sorry, you've broken me. Yu Yoka, I collected English and Japanese complete. So I'm going to have to get this Fracture in English and Japanese, but that's okay. I can do that. Unanori's Crocodile, I've got several copies of that coming. There's no way I'm giving up on my Unanori collection. That's far too important to me. Fujimoto Gold, I collect. Oku, I collect. Shinanahara, Landorus. Yeah, got to get that. I think I'm only collecting Shinanahara in Japanese primarily, so when the English one comes around, That's not so important. Again, same with Minima Namitake. I collect in Japanese only, so the Crustal. Satama, they're breaking me with Satama at the moment. So I think Satama's another artist that I've just got to let go. So, yeah, that's, this is what they're doing to me. One by one, the strings are snapping, and I cannot keep doing this. Akubo, I collect in Japanese, have to get that. Koremori, there's one that, has always been on the edge. Well, they haven't been around for very long, and they've had some very expensive cards. Koremori, I don't know what I'm going to do with that collection. Gemi's one that they keep, we're on the edge of expensive cards coming out that I can't add to the collection. So there are collections of mine that are just snapping. And what really pisses me off, so we haven't even touched upon it, which really pisses me off about the black and white releases, Bolt and Flare, is the English one, which really annoys the shit out of me, because they've gone even further than the Japanese, which is itself bloated, by adding this extra layer of reverse. They've got, as far as I know, I haven't actually seen the product, but what is being reported is that a common card will have a common version, a reverse foil in a Scarlet and Violet reverse foil pattern like this one, then a Pokeball version, then a Master Ball version, and then an art rare. So there are, for every species, let's say Blitzel, there will be 5 different English cards I need to find for the Blitzel. And in Japanese it's 4, but that makes 9 cards for every species I collect. So which include the English and Japanese art rares, the English and Japanese Master Balls, the English and Japanese Pokeballs, the regular cards, and then English has got this extra level of just a reverse, which, yes, it'll be cheap as anything. That's not the point. Why they did this, if they were going to follow the Japanese and have Pokeball and Deluxe Master Balls reverses, they should have dropped the reverse foils. The regular reverse foils. They shouldn't be having those as well. That is just ridiculous, because then nobody cares. There should be a regular card and a deluxe version of a card, and then they've got the super deluxe with the Master Ball. But you don't have this level of reverse in a set that has Master Balls. It's just stupid, and it's greedy on the part of the Pokemon Company. And I don't. It as I say, rankles with me. It feels like they're psychologically exploiting collectors. And when you become aware of that feeling, your relationship to the company selling you the product, it becomes sour. And I don't like that feeling. It doesn't feel like a happy friendship. It feels like a friend who is exploiting you. And yes, obviously, they are a company selling product and they want you to buy their product. So it is an exploitative relationship. But there are ways of keeping that healthy and positive. And at the moment, as they did with Unseen Forces and their fucking unknown subset, the curtain is pulled away and you see it's exposed what they're really doing to you, that they are trying to milk you for money with product. And it's so blatant and it's so unpleasant. As I say, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth that I'm not having a positive relationship with the provider of this product to me as the consumer of the product. So there we go. That is my thoughts. That's a very heavy video, and I suspect it's too wordy for most people. Nobody's going to have listened to all of this. If you have, and you have any thoughts you want to add to that, please leave them in the comments. Sorry this is such a boring video. I mean, visually, this has not been a good video. Look, here's some Desert Rivals. Very exciting. Oh, look, my boss div. There are some nice cards in this set. It's not a great super set. Though, having played it online, there are some very playable decks in here. I'm currently playing the Cynthia's deck, the Garchomp, and it's amazingly powerful. It's just stupidly powerful. It doesn't always win because there are bad matchups occasionally, but it is a consistently huge deck. I haven't played the Marnie's Grimmsnarl deck, which is apparently the most popular deck, but I can see, I've played against it enough times to know that it's a very powerful deck. So there are some very big decks that will be big in the meta coming out of this set. And we'll see what happens. Anyway, sorry, too long a video. Bye-bye.